Sometime last year, I mentored a lady, and there was a point that she wanted to attend an interview, and she was so nervous, and she asked me to help her, to guide her on what to do, and I guided her. And I know that there are some people who get nervous about attending interviews. It was a company. They were involved in publishing. It was a publishing company, a big publishing company somewhere on the Ikeja axis of Lagos State in Nigeria. So it was a very big company, and I applied, and they called me for an interview. So I went for the interview. So when I got there on that day, it was really, really a formalized process. Those kind of big security companies that you have security men at the gates. You have to write your name. There'll be plenty people. Like in Nigeria, I don't know about other parts of the world. In this part of the world, if you want to attend an interview, just for one or two positions, you may have like 500 or 300 people that want to have that same job. Yes, getting a job here is not as easy as it should be. So when there's a position, you have many people that are eager to get that job. So I was one of the people interested. So after going through the processes, when you wait and they call you, I now entered, and they interviewed me. So let me start with how the setting was. They were about, I can't remember exactly how many they were, but they were like between 7 to 10 men and women. Yes, it was a company, so they hired like consultants to do the interview process, because it was a big companies. When they want to do interviews, sometimes they don't want to go through the stress or of doing it, so they hire consultants to do the interview. So they were like 7 to 10 people. It was like a table, like a boardroom setting, and they just sat around, and I got there and I sat down. They asked me my background. They wanted to know more about me, and I told them things they wanted to know. Yes, they asked me my background, why I want the job, the normal things. But there's something that I did. There's something when I got there, there's something I do that I want to tell you about. When I go for interviews, I don't know, I'm not usually nervous, because I'm this kind of person. I don't see something as you must have it. I've never been so desperate about getting something. No matter how desperate I am about getting something, I always consider maybe other people. If I believe that some other people need it more than I do, I will say, okay, I can let it go. I don't hold on to things like it must be me. So it was that mindset I had. And at that point, I think I still had a job. I had a job at that point. Yes, at that point I had a job. So it wasn't like I was desperate. I just wanted something different, something that would be more beneficial in some ways, a job that would give me a better experience and all that. So I went there, I greeted them, I was calm, I was friendly. They were asking me questions. I wasn't nervous, and I was answering them. I didn't see it then by their expression that they were excited, or that there was anything special. It was just me, being forthright. One thing about life you have to realize is that you don't have to put on airs to say, to start doing. Sometimes on social media you see young people, they start trying to, or people generally, not necessarily the young people, trying to act as if they are more than what they really are, or try to give a false impression. As much as possible, I try to be as forthright as possible. You understand? I don't want to give an impression that I have more than I have, or no. I am not interested in externals. I'm interested in being very forthright. So that's how I was at that interview. I was forthright. When they asked me questions, I would answer, and I did not want to put on any airs or anything. They asked me some questions that I did not know the answer. I was very forthright. The questions that they asked that I did not know the answer, instead of beating about the bush or trying to, be smart, I just told them that this particular question, I don't have an answer. I think that also impressed them to a large extent, because there's a lot of dishonesty. And what people don't realize is that employers, they want honest employees, because somebody may be very intelligent, somebody may have so much knowledge, but the person may now come into a company and be corrupt and steal some money. So employers, apart from your output, how intelligent you are, they also want to know something about your morals. If you are someone that will get into a company and you'll be involved in fraud, so those are the things they also look out for. I think that was what also impressed them. Now, but let me tell you what I think impressed them the most. What I think impressed them the most, that even impressed the consultants that offered me a job after I refused that particular job, was that I was willing to give solutions. That's my natural disposition. If somebody comes to me, you have a problem, immediately I start thinking of the ways in which you can solve that problem. It's just me, I do it naturally. So while I was there, you were talking about the company, I started giving some suggestions in which to push the company forward from the level that they are to a higher level. So I started giving them suggestions, I started giving preferring solutions. I think that was the part that really, really impressed them. Yes, because that's the kind of, when you go for an interview, don't just see yourself as someone that wants to take a job. See yourself as someone that wants to provide value. They want to know whether you provide value. They want to know what you will give them. It's not only about what you can take. In life generally, in your relationships, it shouldn't always be about what you can take. You should also be concerned about what you can give. It was quite an interactive interview because as they asked me a question, while answering, I also go further to prefer a solution. It's a skill. I just know. It's just something I do. It's just something I know how to do. When you go for an interview, when they ask you questions, as you are answering, still go further by preferring a solution. I think that was what impressed them, the panelists, so much. So after I left the venue, I didn't know that I did anything spectacular, really. It was just me, my normal attitude. So I got the job offer, but the salary at that point was not something that I knew would really do much. Yes, it really wouldn't do much. So I rejected the offer. Only for me to now start getting calls, to start getting messages from some of the consultants after I refused the job. They were offering me jobs in their companies. Yes, a school offered me a job, another publishing firm offered me a job. So that was how impressed they were that I started getting other job offers even after refusing that initial job. So you should see, and first of all, I just want to give you some tips. When you go for an interview, don't see it as it must be something I must get. You just take the interview process as an experience, something you should learn from. You mustn't always, life is not like when you always do something you always get the positive impact, but try to get teachable moments, learn something from attending, just try to learn things from attending interviews. Then the second thing I did was also, it was very interactive, and I was honest, I was forthright. Please, as much as possible, don't try to lie. Don't try to lie because you want to keep a job. There's even a particular lady I had something to do with. Yes, I was recruiting for a company, and she was one of those that got recruited. It was an internship position, but she lied about something, and at the end I caught her. It was embarrassing, but to be fair to her, she came to me and she apologized for lying, that she didn't know why she did, and I forgave her because I believe in giving people another chance. I've made mistakes in my career, and I talk about it sometimes on this channel. I've made mistakes in my younger days. So I try to guide young people not to make the same mistakes that I make. So if it's something that resonates with you, then this is the channel to subscribe to too. Till I see you in the next video where I talk about something that will be equally inspiring. Take care.